Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Vinten, and we're here today just to do it's going to be a short video. I just want to introduce you guys to the World of Origins website, okay? This is sort of the hub right now where you can actually access sort of the database of some cards for the Origins TCG, as well as, you can check out like the Steam demo. We've got latest articles from when the team do their AMAs. And there was a recent AMA that did happen where they were able to cover some information. Looks a bit, I think it's a bit thin there, so I might just zoom in just a fraction here. And basically they went through like the plan where people asked some questions about what's the status of things going forward. So they indicated like a blueprint only variations of cards. They look very, very cool, very nice new variants. They've talked about like the Steam demo, what they've seen like all the time right now. So I would recommend, if you haven't played yet, jump in. Like, you can get a play for a little bit, see if this really intrigues you. This is a fun card game. I've been having a lot of fun with this. They recently going to a card party on July 24th, 26th, so there was like some updates on their X platform where they just finished A1, so that's all looking good. And they went through more of a deep dive into explaining like how the card game is, because this is a free to compete game, which means like all the cards are always going to be free. There might be like a gameplay loop you'll need to do, like that was in demo, like just play some games, fight a boss, and then you unlock the cards. It's going to be simple and easy. It's just easy for people that, let's say you haven't played this, you don't play this game, and maybe a year goes by after the initial release. It'll be very easy to jump in, play whatever games there is, and you are going to just unlock the cards. And then you can then look into the aspect of the monetization, which is, if you want to put a few money in to buy whatever they've specified in their shop, to get variants, because it's mainly just going to be alternate arts of cards, full art cards, all that stuff. They say here collectible variants will come from limited set packs. Prestige packs can be earned weekly via a one-time $15 Prime upgrade. So like, once you do this upgrade, you're going to be able to earn these packs, and opening these packs will give you those alternate arts. So that's pretty much it, like sort of how the monetization working. And I believe also like, because you can trade cards with people and you can utilize the Steam store, the online Steam store. It's a interesting discussion to have, because I do know like even in the Discord, people are asking questions still, even on the meta. So it's always good to just, if you're really curious, you can always just put your question forward. The team are always very happy to help. They're very, very open about being, what's the word I'm looking for here? To discussing everything. I'm missing a certain word here. I think you know what I mean by saying like they're open to always the questions to answer, and to answer every kind of question you have. They're very transparent. That's the word I'm looking for, transparency. The transparency is very good. This is an awesome team. They have a Kickstarter that's going to be happening in October, which is basically allowing the chance to get alpha edition variations of cards. Again, alternate arts. This is sort of going to be the last Kickstarter they're doing for some of these packs, and they're not going to do it again. So if you're ever playing and you see people with these specific variants of cards, the only way to ever get them is through this Kickstarter. Otherwise, that's it. And the only other option is to see if people will trade them or sell them through the market. Pack pricing targets are around $4 on the Kickstarter. They will offer discounts and packages from 10 to up to 5,000. So I know that, because these are specific kind of alternate arts of cards, I'm probably going to jump in and have a look at this. And I will decide from there going forward. They also explained that on their release schedule, so once the game is fully out, even if when we get to, I should explain as well, come to October for Steamfest, it does stay down here for the Season 2 of the demo. We are going to have the ability to customize decks. They want this ready by that point so that they will host another official tournament. We have just been through one official tournament with the pre-built decks. The winner, I believe, was D-Money. It was a best of 3 single elimination. That person is automatically qualified for the next tournament. And they also got a secret prize. Don't know what it is, but yeah. So there'll be another tournament coming up. in October in preparation for the Steam Fest, for the update for Demo Season 2, where we can actually build the decks and we'll get access to a larger pool of cards, and then we can go from there. What they're planning to do is, within the initial release, 200 to 220 base cards starting off. That'll give us the freedom to really sort of like build the deck, see what's available, customize. I mean, it seems like a lot of cards, but like, you know, it gives a bunch of variety. And then what they're going to basically do is after the game drop officially comes out, maybe most likely in early access, I think, we're going to have like one free card every single week, up to, I think, for like 3 months, and then during the next month, they're going to drop one mini set, which will be like 65 base cards with plus variants. And they've already indicated that, you know, the idea on the theme they're going for is, it's called Plunderstorm, and it'll be a pirate theme. I've already got some ideas and theories on who they can introduce into this set. I have a strong feeling, it's a gut feeling, but I'm pretty damn sure that because they're using everything that is on the not the open source market, you know, where there's no more licenses for certain cards. That's why they can, you know, make the cards like Winnie the Pooh and all that. I have a feeling Blackbeard. That's my hunch, because pirate theme, Blackbeard's a well-known pirate, and most likely any other pirates that are associated with Blackbeard, and possibly even the ships like the Queen Anne, which will be pretty cool. They're going to drop as well, I believe, in the demo version 2, ranked ladder, leaderboards. They also want to do draft and sealed modes. I don't know if that'll be in the demo. I have a stronger feeling on the actual proper full release. These are planned. Text can be changed post-release for balance reasons, so they are going to be looking into cards balance and all that. The grading of cards is gamified. 1 to 10, God packs and error cards are confirmed. They have a creator program, which will be led by one of their team members named Monique. And they also have mod applications opening up. And they're looking at digital LGS distributor system as planned. And yes, it says there, Kickstart October, Demo Season 2 plus Steam Next Fest around then, early access in November. So October is when we're getting the Demo Season 2, and early access is coming into November. So basically a month's time. Trying to set up a couple decks is going to be interesting. I've been tinkering with some decks. I had a video already set in motion with another content creator named Prince of None. We had done a recording session today. Unfortunately, I did not set up the proper mic channels, and you could not hear Prince at all in the video recording, and I feel so bad. Because that was a good like hour we spent going through and discussing about some decks. So stay tuned. We'll come back to that for the next week. So the next video I'll be releasing updated version of that discussion. This time we have a better knowledge of what we're going to say, and it probably won't be as long, but we'll have we're kind of now on board of what we were discussing and what we'll get through. So I recommend go to the website, which is worldoforigins.fun. I'll drop the link in the video description, and you can go through. If you want to get a little more in depth, like, you know, people ask some questions. It's just that this is sort of like a wall of text. I mean, if you want to spend your time reading, be my guest. Otherwise, alternatively, you can watch the full recording here, which is my video that you can go and watch. Okay, but it's just a good indication of, like, you know, where they're going, what's happening. And I strongly recommend definitely checking out this website. So I'm just going to do this. And basically, this website is a good database of all the cards that are currently available. You are able to see like previous sets from currently now, GDC 26, Winter 2025, and Summer 2025 of like what the designs look like previously. So you can definitely have a rummage through. You can see some of the cards, ideas and stuff for designs, where sort of like they were still working on a few cards and then they're going to what they've updated. I'm curious to see the changes, because like I'm interested. Like Zora is a card, which is actually kind of pretty cool. Oh jeez. Excuse me. I I think I swallowed a little swallow that. I should drink some water. A card I'm interested in is Wukong here. He's a 4-drop 3/3. When he's damaged, if I survive, summon a base copy of me at a random space. Like, I definitely know that he's definitely a legendary. I'm just not sold on the stat value for a 4-drop. Do apologize. That wasn't great. I definitely want to see how much they have changed Wukong. Wukong, because the Monkey King is definitely a commander I want, a deck I would love to build around. I think if they had to change him, the stats values need to be changed up a bit. I don't mind the ability that he'll always have a base copy if he survives damage, because I would try to build a deck around, you know, making multiple Wukongs. And even if you do buff him, it's always a base version, so it's always the base stat. He just needs to be able to survive. I just don't think, at least as a 4-drop 3/3, that's good. That's a good value stat. I think maybe if his cost was 3, and possibly this was a bit different, maybe a 2/4, to give him that survivability, or he stays a 3/3, maybe a 3/5, give or take. It's just that you want him to survive the damage, so then you can always have another Wukong going. But obviously the Monkey King has like thousands of like unique effects. If you've read the books on about Wukong, there's plenty of stuff you could do with him. I do like this card called the Trojan Horse. I don't know if it's still in. I kind of would dig if it is, because, you know, like, it's a 4-drop 0/1 that says on death summon a 3/3 soldier at 2 random spaces. I believe it's up here. Which is just a soldier, a 2/3/3. Technically this is done with some other cards like the 3 blind mice. It is another variation, but, you know, they've got a little more meat to them. If it seems a bit too strong, potentially maybe just make them 2/2s, and I probably would drop the Trojan Horse down to like, I don't know, maybe a 3 cost, a 3/0/1. It will go great in a destroy deck because, you know, you just simply get rid of it and create more minion fodder. So you definitely can go through this and you can see the backlog of cards of stuff they've created, which is great, and how much things have changed up until currently what they've got. I've definitely got some deck ideas, theory crafting here that I want to do. You can definitely do, if you go up here in the rarities, you can definitely do some filters. You can filter the series, filter their alignments. Each of the alignments definitely play a factor in certain decks. There's all the keywords that you can choose from. If you want to say on reveal, a whole bunch of cards will just pop on reveal. And we've also got the card types, your characters, spells, legendaries, and tokens. So if I go legendaries, we can look at all the legendaries that are currently set from what I can see. All this has technically been done by one of the members in the Discord named Aiden. He's also propried a few decks. When you click on decks, you will see like just some featured ones that were done by Aiden. So he's built some decks here, and you can just basically go into the deck section and you can see some community decks that are here. I'm gonna have to redo the video with Prince, and we'll discuss some of the decks we have made. I intend to put some other decks up. I put one up for now. Technically I had some others, but I've removed them just because I think some changes need to be done, and I needed to provide some context, because once you select the deck, if I select like one of the decks here, you know, you can put a description. The one thing I didn't do with those decks was actually provide a description of what is the deck trying to do as a theory. So when we do that video next week, we'll go through some of the decks then. So I would definitely have a look at this. You can also simulate like a draft. You can create a room, join a room. Obviously, top of your content, news, articles. It goes through the creators, the basic rules, and FAQ. So it's a good tool to have a look through all the cards and do some resourcing. Like if I went, like I think I was doing here card types, I'm going to go legendaries. Like some of the legendaries are already available. There's 7 legendaries in the demo right now. In demo version 2, I feel like we'll probably get all of these legendaries, and I've already got like ideas on like I think what am I planning? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, and 7. I think I got like 7 decks already in mind. One deck I really would like to try to build is Cinderella, because she's got a cool effect of after combat, she returns herself and a random enemy to both players' hands. She gets +1/+1 for each time our character has entered any hand from play this game. In a simpler context, bounce. So it's a different way of bouncing. It's just that you have to wait until after combat. She comes back, she gets a buff, and I think it's a good tech option because she is able to basically avoid removal. And the best way, another way to really deal with Cinderella is trying to predict how your opponent's going to play her, where you think they might drop Cinderella, and see if you can potentially counter it. So I think it's pretty cool. I do like the effect. There is not a lot of support for Cinderella though. If I went into the keywords specifically, and I believe it's not bounce, but they call it return, there is legitimately only 3 cards here, technically 4. You got Stroke of Midnight, which returns characters to hands, Cinderella, and you got Tigger. Tigger's a 3/1/3 that says after combat, I return to your hand and my power doubles. So I also believe that if Cinderella is in your hand, I'm trying to understand that I think this is just like a simple effect of, it's a static effect. Anytime a character enters someone's hand from the field, she gets +1/+1. It's simple. Tigger is always coming back to your hand, again, like Cinderella, so this is another cool stat value of a card. The other one I know that is technically doing a bounce is, when you can also type in names, is White Queen, which is on reveal, put another character into its owner's hand. So that's pretty much, as far as I understand, all the return cards I can see. There may be some more in the previous builds, but personally I don't know if there were, because there's no actual keywords here specifically. If I do this one here, there are no cards. It doesn't have any listings there. So not a lot of support at least in a bounce build. So, it's unfortunately, right now it's still early phase, but this is a deck that I would love to try to build. You've got a legendary spell here that's like the zombies, the Legion, which is called Mirror Mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. Summon copies of all characters played this round to friendly empty spaces. So this is pretty cool. It is basically, you're waiting for your opponent to make a big play. You're predicting it, and you're like, all right, I expect maybe you'll do this. I will probably play 1 or 2 things, and then I'm going to cast this spell at the same time, because it summons copies of all characters, including your opponent as well as you. So you can simply do 1 or 2 creatures. They may drop 3, and then you've done Mirror Mirror. Now you're going to get 5 creatures to randomly on your board space. You've made 2, and you're going to get an additional 5. Pretty cool. That does give you a pretty big advantage. Your opponent now has to deal with your board state. So this will be fun to build around once we get some newer cards. You've got cards here like Van Helsing. He adds his tools to your hand if it's not already there. The toolkit is, I think if I click a button here, which is this item here, choose one. Play the Holy Water, the Silver Bull, the Garlic, or the Wooden Stake. So I think every time you get that, and you get one of these items. Holy Water says remove all abilities from a character. Silver Bull deals 3 damage to a character. Garlic stuns a character, and the Wooden Stake destroys a damaged character. Very cool effects before combat. So every time before combat, you will always get that Helsing tools, and then you can then choose which ones you want to use. I think specifically, the Holy Water is pretty good, removing all abilities from our character. That's a good way to sort of stop something is a threat. Deal 3 damage, another 1 cost type of removal. There's a stun, which is the stun can come in handy. And I think destroying a damaged character, that's pretty unique too. I'm also got an idea for a Wicked Stepmother deck, because I kind of dig it. She's got Death Touch and gives all your evil characters Death Touch. So, you build an evil deck, and then, you got the ability to give them Death Touch. So, Evil Stepmother comes with the spell to give one character death touch. So, you know, pretty cool stuff there. I would say another one that I definitely am going to love to build will be Alice. Alice is an interesting one here, as she basically is a cost reduction. At the end of the round, your hand will get, all the cards in your hand will get a cost reduction by Alice's power. So I definitely know, like, you know, if you can buff her power, you know, you're getting some nice big discounts. If you have nothing in your hand, Alice instead just buffs herself. So she becomes a pretty decently strong sized card. So, you know, retrospectively, you want to like ramp, play Alice when you need to, buff her, and then watch your discounts take place, and then get ready to do some big plays. I think another one here, I've got ideas. I think I'm on the side. I've got a Dracula deck up and ready to go. I will discuss that with Prince, like with one of his decks as well. Dr. Frank is an interesting one. He says at the start of each combat, summon a random character from your graveyard to a random space. He doesn't really have that survivability, but at best, you might get 2 characters off him from the graveyard. You're not too fussed about that because he comes with a card called It's Alive. And it is very special because he's the only one that will give you this. You cannot like add this spell to any deck. Because for 3 mana, it just says summon a random minion from your graveyard to a random friendly space. Very strong for 3, so it's very unique to Dr. Frank. He will only be the one to give it to you. King Arthur has a shield and says on reveal, all your good characters get shield. So semi-good deck with maybe some neutrals, and then you've got basically King Arthur to give everyone a shield, so you get your board in a good state, hopefully, and then drop King Arthur, and then everyone's got a shield for a turn, so you increase that pressure. We've definitely seen some of the cards here already that are in the demo. I definitely am interested in a Queen of Hearts deck, which is double friendly on death abilities. How to get around that, we'll see. There is some cards that have got some unique on death effects. I like Little Red Riding Hood, red. She's a good card that says on reveal, deal 5 damage to an enemy character. If she's able to kill, she will add a base copy of the character to your hand. So actually it's pretty cool. Obviously, if you kill something that's been buffed up, you're not going to get the stats. You're just getting a base version of it. So that's what it implies. She does come with a unique spell, which is Red Axe. Deal 5 damage to a character. If this destroys it, add a base copy to your hand. So she comes with that. Actually, what does the... Yeah, and you can also click the power button, which shows you like maybe a previous version. What does the Queen of Hearts give you? Oh yeah, off with your head. Destroy a friendly character, summon a base copy of it at each other location. Pretty cool, actually. So if you got some good on-death abilities, yeah, like that's actually kind of pretty awesome. Game start, add off to your hand. Yeah, so not much there. I definitely know Dracula definitely was changed. There was a previous version of him where he was like gaining power for every time you discarded a card. Sorry, it wasn't that great. But the new version of Dracula, I really like. He sort of he says, put the Brides of Dracula on the field. So I dig that. I'll go more into that one when we get to the deck discussions, but just want to show you guys like very cool website to gain some knowledge into some cards, you know, have a look through, help you build ideas for decks that you're interested in. Like you got some legendaries, you can see cards here. You can also go into the tokens of stuff that certain cards will do to give you tokens. You can see all the spells, and hopefully I'm not covering this, but there's a fruit item here. So it's well and truly like stacked with some stuff, so it gives you an idea. But definitely have a look through. Like you can become familiar with some of the cards, because I believe at this point right now, it's up to date with what the cards are going to be most likely in October. I believe some cards are here are still subject to change. I definitely know that Dracula card is not a 6 cost. He is going to be changed, but I would say most cards here are pretty set in stone on what they are, what they'll cost be. But they're definitely still, I feel like some of them probably are still subject to change until we get to October. So not everything here is set in stone, but it's definitely going to give you an idea on how you want to build some decks and peruse and, you know, become familiar with the idea of concept. So that's pretty much what this simple video is all about. Just like have a look through, have a look at, see what you can do, create a deck. Like literally just simply come here, think of a concept, drop the legendary factor here, think of a legendary card that you like, and then you're able to build out the deck. If I go into decks here and I just pull up, let's just pull up one of the Hellslinger deck here. You can also simulate the hand. So once you build the deck, you can simulate the hand, get a feel of like, yep, okay, I kind of dig what I'm drawing if it flows well. So yeah, have a look through. Definitely download the demo. If you're interested in understanding more, have a watch of the AMA. Feel free to jump into the Discord server, ask questions, watch the AMA. And yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do. Next week, we'll definitely be jumping back into here, and we're going to do the deck theory crafting on one of the decks I've made and one of the decks Prince has made. And then I'll probably upload the ideas for the decks that I want to put here for people to have a try. This is one of those, and I'm pretty sure with Prince, we're going to discuss one over here. We've got 2 decks in mind. I know you just realized you can't see my mouse all this time. I want to have a discussion on my Discardular deck, and he wants to definitely talk about his King Ping Beowulf. So interest is ideas of what the start cards are doing. So that'll be fun. Just check things out, guys. That's pretty much it. So like I said, not a long video, just talking about this because the original video, well, can't really be used because you can't hear one half of someone's voice. But yes, have a look through, get an idea, get a feel for the characters, legendaries. You can then come up with your own theories and crafting of decks. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's going to be fun. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. What do you want to build? What do you find interesting? How are you going to go about it? And yeah, we'll go from there. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.